Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's so good to see you and welcome back. Today I'm back with yet another vintage gadget. This was very kindly sent to me by lovely Patricia. Patricia, thank you so much for first of all thinking of me and then for sending me this. Do y'all know what this is? This is a vintage mayonnaise maker. And when I say vintage, it is 88 years old. I did some research online and this is from 1933 to 1935. You could order this online. It costs 65 cents and 16 cents postage. You purchased it directly from the Wesson Oil Company and it is a mayonnaise maker, homemade mayonnaise. And what I love about it is that the recipe is embossed right on the gadget itself. It's absolutely beautiful. It's in the glass itself. There's no label that will wash off. There's no recipe to get lost because it's right here. We've got this glass jar that has this little impression at the bottom, kind of like a bottle of wine, and that meets with this little basket at the bottom. This will be our agitator, and it has this cap on the top that screws onto here to seal it. And the basket is attached to a handle, and this will be plunged up and down so we can create our mayonnaise. So my 8-year-old asked me, Mama, what is mayonnaise made out of? Well, primarily it is made out of oil that is emulsified. That means the little droplets of oil are in suspension with egg, sometimes egg yolk, a bit of vinegar or lemon juice, some kind of acid, salt and pepper, and sometimes a bit of mustard. A very handy and tasty condiment used to enhance BLTs, potato salad, macaroni salad, tuna salad. Mayonnaise is lovely. I know a lot of people have an aversion to it. I'm not sure if it's a textural thing, a consistency thing, or just the plain look of it. But I love it, and I'm going to be making homemade mayonnaise. I've never actually made homemade mayonnaise before, and I'm going to do a little taste test comparison. I'm going to compare it with some mayonnaises that I have in my refrigerator. So the first thing we need is an egg. This egg was laid this morning by one of my chickens. So give thanks, chickens. One beautiful fresh egg. To that we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I'm just going to strain that through so I don't get any seeds in there. Oh, it smells so good. So egg yolk happens to be an emulsion in itself. So the egg, which has some fats in it, help the process of the emulsification. Also, we're going to add a bit of mustard, which will also help make the oil and the water together to make this beautiful, thick, white mayonnaise. 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of mustard. I'm using Dijon mustard. Good pinch of black pepper. So that's it for the flavoring portion. Now we're going to take our plunger and place it into our jar. If we look at the top of this lid, it's got a little depression. It's a bit like a funnel. So that's where we're going to be pouring in the oil. Now I'm going to measure out 2 cups of oil. I'm using canola oil, which happens to be Wesson brand. Mix up these ingredients first. Now I'm going to slowly drizzle in the oil. We don't want to do this too quickly because the goal is to get the oil and this to mix and not to separate. So here we go. It's working. So you certainly don't need a mayonnaise maker to make mayonnaise at home. You could do this with a whisk and a bowl or even a blender. But this is kind of fun. Now it's getting lighter in color and it's definitely getting thicker. Now let's take this off. Oh my gosh, it's so thick. Look at this. It smells exactly like mayonnaise. Exactly. Nice and tangy and eggy. Ah, yes! I can't wait to taste this. I know this is going to be a little bit strange, but I'm just going to taste this straight up. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Oh, that's lovely. Nice and tangy, zippy, eggy, delicious. I don't know what I was expecting since I've never made homemade mayonnaise before, but this tastes just as you would think mayonnaise tastes, but better. It's more zippier, it's more acidic. You can actually smell the lemon juice, and it's eggy and rich and delicious. Definitely better than any store-bought mayonnaise I've ever tasted, but just for confirmation, I'm gonna do a little comparison with what I've got in my fridge. I've got Hellmann's, I've got Kewpie mayo, the southern favorite, Duke's. I've always wanted to do this, but I've never actually done an official mayonnaise taste test before. So let's just look at that. Hellmann's has a much kind of like stiffer, almost gelatinous texture to it. Homemade is right here. This, of course, has not been chilled, so it's at room temperature, and it has a smoother consistency. Kewpie mayo, Japanese favorite, and Duke's. So I'm gonna taste these straight up first, and then I'm gonna taste them on a hard-boiled egg. Alrighty, here we go. Here's homemade. Lovely. I love the amount of acidity in the homemade version. It's bright, it's sunny, and the egg flavor is delicious. Perfect recipe there. I like the amount of salt in there as well. Alrighty, let's try Hellmann's next. Whiter in color and thicker, and kind of more gelatinous. Alrighty, here we go. That's actually quite delicious as well. That one's saltier, but it leaves kind of a oily aftertaste on that one. But it tastes pretty rich as well. Next, Kewpie mayo. Ooh, wow. I've never done a side-by-side comparison. Kewpie mayo is really rich. It has a really nice eggy flavor to it. It's salty. It's got a bit of umami in there. I think there's probably some good MSG in there. That's tasty. And there's some acid in there, but it's not as acidic as a homemade version, not as kind of bright. Kewpie mayo is delicious. Finally, Duke's. Duke's is good too. Duke's, in my opinion, that one's more similar to the Hellmann's in terms of balance of salt, acid, and oil. But that one too also finishes with kind of an oily flavor to it. Alrighty, let's actually taste this on some food. Let me go grab a hard-boiled egg. Ooh, that's beautiful. They're just a little bit gelled in the middle. Okay, egg dipped into homemade. The richness of the egg yolk is echoed in the mayo, but the mayo has some of that acidity to brighten it up. Delicious. Hellmann's. The Hellmann's has more of a concentrated egginess, or it simply could be my association with what egg salad means because I'm always using that brand of mayonnaise. Interesting. I think I might like it better than the homemade in that case, at least on an egg. What? Next, let's try Kewpie mayo. Delicious. It just tastes more savory and just tasty. Yum. Again, the mayonnaise enhances the natural richness of an egg. So far, Kewpie mayo is my favorite. Oh boy. Okay, now let's try Duke's. All my Duke's lovelies are gonna get angry with me, but it's pretty similar to Hellmann's, just slightly different. If I was blindfolded, I probably wouldn't be able to tell which one is which, but still delicious. In conclusion, mayonnaise is absolutely delicious. I love it with eggs. I love it in potato salad, macaroni salad. Love it. If you don't like it, try giving it another shot. It really enhances and gives food a lot of flavor. Harold McGee, the author of this book right here on food and cooking. This is great if you are interested at all in food science. It's very comprehensive. There's a whole entire section devoted to emulsions, cold and hot, and mayonnaise included. Homemade mayonnaise is definitely worth making. You know exactly what is in it. There aren't any preservatives. There's no any extra hidden natural flavors. But I have to say, when I did the actual taste test, Kewpie mayo was my favorite. Having said that, you should still attempt to make homemade mayonnaise because making an emulsion is like magic, and you should do it at least once in your life. Even though it took me a lifetime to get here, here I am. And yeah, in conclusion, eggs and mayonnaise are scrambled delicious. Alrighty, my lovelies, thank you so much for watching, and big thanks to Patricia for sending me this beautiful mayonnaise maker and making this episode possible. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. It really helps me out. Follow me on social media, ring that notification bell, subscribe if you're not subbed already, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye!